Amnesty says if the proposed laws are enacted, women in Iran would be restricted on their use of contraceptives and excluded from the labour market. The group claims the government wants to turn young women into baby-making machines rather than human beings.
The Iranian authorities are trying to, first of all, ban voluntary female sterilization, which is interestingly the second most common method of birth control in Iran after pills. They are also restricting access to information about sexual and reproductive health and specifically methods of contraception.
Bahraini says such restrictions could have far-reaching consequences for maternal health.
Many more women in Iran will be at risk of unwanted pregnancies, and they will have no option but to continue with their unwanted pregnancies when it's not their choice to do, or terminate their pregnancies through illegal and unsafe abortions.
The hardship of the Iran-Iraq war in the 1980s, combined with government policies aimed at reducing family size, led to a plunging birth rate, says Shireen Hussain of King's College London.
So really the fertility decline hasn't started until the late 80s in Iran, but then it declined very sharply.
Today, the birth rate is around 1.8, below the so-called replacement level. Marriage rates are falling and divorce rates are rising. It adds up to a falling population, says Hussain.
It's not only contraceptive and family planning, it's also the dynamics of marriage, the divorce rate, the remarriage, the age of marriage. That combined with economic hardship, that is made it very difficult for many people to start families and have children.
Amnesty says a second proposed law would entrench discrimination by giving priority for job vacancies to men and to women who already have children. Young women without children would be at the bottom of the pile.
And that means women will be further excluded from the labor market in Iran. Also, it tries to make divorce more difficult to obtain. Women already face a lot of obstacles in getting divorce, and they do not have an equal right divorce to men.
Iran's objective is to combat a falling, aging population, but Shireen Hussain says the policies would incur additional short-term economic pain.
Having, more children could be a solution in the longer term, but that is again attached to a higher economic value, especially in the short term, when you have increased demand for health services and education services.
Hussain says demographic challenges are being felt across the region as ageing populations put an increasing strain on government services. Ridgwell for VOA News, London.